Now then, ever wondered why the cabin crew go hush-hush when you ask for a blanket? Or why those blue lights pulse gently? Today we're delving into the secrets airlines would rather you didn't know. Are the letters SSS on your boarding pass a reason to worry? What's more dangerous than turbulence? Should you be the first to board the plane? You're about to find out. Ever noticed how many airlines are absolutely mad for blue? No, it's not because they're all secretly mourning the loss of those little packets of peanuts. Apparently, blue is meant to have a calming effect. Yes, that's right, they want you tranquil as a sleeping turtle while you're hurtling through the air at hundreds of miles an hour. It's all very nothing to see here. Mind you, I'd be much calmer if they just brought back the free snacks. That flimsy little boarding pass you're always tempted to chuck in the first bin you see? Well, hold your horses, my eager traveler. It's more valuable than you think. See that little barcode? It's like your passport to the friendly skies. It holds all sorts of personal information, and you wouldn't want that falling into the wrong hands, would you? Imagine someone rocking up at your next flight claiming to be you. Chaos. So, be a love and dispose of it properly, won't you? Right. Picture this. You're at the airport, giddy with excitement, about to jet off on your holidays, and then you glance at your boarding pass. And there it is, staring back at you like a particularly judgmental owl, SSS. Now, before you start panicking and confessing to crimes you haven't even committed, let me explain. It simply means you've been randomly selected for a little extra attention. A quick swab here, a gentle pat down there, nothing to worry about. Unless, of course, you have something to hide. Chapter 4. The Case for Boarding Last. Now I know what you're thinking, boarding last? Isn't that like volunteering to spend the entire flight with your knees around your ears? Well, hear me out. See, all that jostling and queuing, it's just a recipe for stress. And who needs that when you're about to be crammed into a metal tube with 200 other people? Much better to swan on at the last minute, find your seat and settle in. Besides, you might even get lucky and snag an empty row all to yourself. The mysterious bathroom switch. Ah, the airplane bathroom, a marvel of modern engineering, isn't it? So compact, so efficient. But have you ever noticed that little switch on the door, the one the flight attendants fiddle with before takeoff and landing? No, it's not for summoning a secret stash of miniature toiletries. It's actually a safety feature. Flipping that switch unlocks the door from the outside, just in case of an emergency. Reassuring, isn't it? Chapter 6. Turbulence versus updraft, the real threat. We've all been there, haven't we? Cruising at 30,000 feet, enjoying a lukewarm cup of tea, when suddenly the plane starts doing the jitterbug. But while most of us cling to our armrests, the pilots are as cool as cucumbers. Turbulence is like a bumpy road, uncomfortable, but not dangerous. Updrafts, on the other hand, are a different story. Sudden gusts can send a plane plummeting. Thankfully, pilots are trained to spot them. Now you might think pilots spend their entire flight with their noses stuck in maps, desperately trying to avoid mid-air collisions. But fear not, my friends, because modern technology has got it covered. Planes these days are equipped with something called a Traffic Collision Avoidance System, or TCAS for those in the know. This clever piece of kit uses radar to detect other aircraft, mountains, rogue weather balloons, you name it. It even tells the pilots what to do to avoid a crash. It's like having a very bossy sat-nav for the sky. I know, this one sounds terrifying, doesn't it? The thought of a giant hunk of metal hurtling through the air with only one engine is enough to make anyone break out in a cold sweat. But before you start penning your last will and testament, let me reassure you, planes are designed to fly perfectly well on just one engine. In fact, they can even take off and land that way. It's all part of the stringent safety regulations. So next time you hear that telltale splutter, don't panic. The pilots have got this. Ever wondered why airplane food gets such a bad rap? No, it's not because the chefs are all failed reality TV stars. It's actually down to science. You see, the air pressure in the cabin affects our sense of taste. It's why everything tastes bland and boring, like it's been seasoned with disappointment. So next time you're tucking into your in-flight meal, spare a thought for your poor, confused taste buds. They're doing their best in a difficult situation. Have you ever noticed all the strange noises a plane makes during a flight? No, I'm not talking about the snoring coming from seat 23B. I mean the dings, the chimes, the occasional bongs. It sounds like a wind chime orchestra up there. Well, those noises aren't just the pilots trying to compose a new ringtone. Each one has a specific meaning, a secret code only they understand. A ding for the seatbelt sign, a chime for reaching cruising altitude, a bong for... well, you'll have to ask a pilot about that one. Ah, the dreaded middle seat. The Bermuda Triangle of air travel where legroom goes to die and personal space is but a distant memory. But if you're a nervous flyer, I have some counterintuitive advice. Embrace the middle. You see, being sandwiched between two strangers might sound like a nightmare, but it actually offers a sense of security. You've got someone to grip onto during turbulence, someone to share your in-flight snacks with, and if you're really lucky, they might even be a good conversationalist. Now, you might think that pilots and co-pilots, being the best of friends and all, would share their in-flight meals. But oh no, that would be far too risky. You see, there's a strict rule that they have to eat different meals. Why? Well, imagine if they both tucked into a dodgy prawn salad and went down with a bout of food poisoning. Who'd fly the plane then? So it's chicken or beef, but never the twain shall meet. All in the name of safety, of course. Right, brace yourselves, folks, because this one's not for the faint of heart. When you think of the dirtiest place on a plane, your mind probably jumps straight to the bathroom, right? Well, think again. The most germ-ridden spot is actually the headrest. Yes, that comfy cushion where you rest your weary head is a veritable breeding ground for bacteria. Think about it, everyone touches it, no one cleans it. So next time you're tempted to lean back and catch 40 winks, you might want to pack a disinfectant wipe or two. Ever been on a flight where the captain announces they're just finishing up some paperwork? Sounds innocent enough, doesn't it? But don't be fooled. It's actually code for we've got a bit of a situation here. That paperwork could be anything from a minor technical glitch to a complete change of flight plan. So, while you're casually sipping your ginger ale, the pilots are busy earning their keep, making sure you get to your destination safe and sound. Now this one's a bit of a treat for all you aviation geeks out there. Did you know that some planes, especially those flying long-haul routes, have secret bedrooms for the crew? Yes, you heard me right. Hidden away behind unmarked doors, you'll find tiny cabins where pilots and flight attendants can catch some shut-eye during those long flights. It's like a miniature hotel in the sky. Just don't go asking for a room service menu. Those windows you're gazing out of, dreaming of exotic destinations, they're not just ordinary glass, you know. They're made of something far more impressive, plexiglass. And no, it's not just because it sounds fancy. Plexiglass is incredibly strong and shatterproof, able to withstand extreme temperatures and pressure changes. So, next time you're cruising at 30,000 feet, take a moment to appreciate the marvel of engineering that's keeping you safe from the elements. Remember when airplane windows used to be square? No, neither do I. But apparently they were. These days, of course, they're all curved and sleek, like a sports car designed by a dolphin. And there's a very good reason for that. You see, curved windows distribute pressure more evenly, making the plane stronger and safer. It's all about aerodynamics, darling. So, next time you're gazing out the window, marvel at the science behind that subtle curve. Now, for a fun fact that might just make your hair stand on end, planes get struck by lightning all the time. Yes, you heard me right, it's actually surprisingly common. But before you start frantically texting your loved ones, let me reassure you, it's totally harmless. Planes are designed to act like giant Faraday cages, channeling the electricity around the cabin and out through the wings. It's like a little light show for the passengers, without the risk of electrocution. We've all been there, haven't we? Returning from a trip abroad, suitcase laden with exotic cheeses, only to be foiled by those pesky customs officials. But it's just a harmless bit of camembert, you cry as they pry it from your grasp. Sadly, there are strict rules about bringing dairy products into certain countries, so, unless you want to end up with a hefty fine, or worse, a lifetime ban from the cheese counter, it's best to leave your smelly souvenirs at home. Now, for a cautionary tale about the perils of DIY travel hacks, you know those videos you see online where people make their own in-flight refrigerators out of dry ice? Sounds like a genius way to keep your drinks cool, right? Well, think again. Dry ice is a big no-no on planes. It releases carbon dioxide as it melts, and too much of that can be dangerous. So unless you want to be escorted off the plane by a hazmat team, stick to the lukewarm orange juice. Well, there you have it, my intrepid travelers, 20+ secrets the airlines would rather you didn't know. Hopefully, you've learned a thing or two. Remember, knowledge is power in the world of air travel. Keep these secrets in mind on your next adventure. That's it for today. If you enjoyed, like and share the video. Click on these videos for more and stay